Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we are gonna do this. Yes, we are gonna be crashing through trees just like that. So how in the world did we actually manage to do that? Because usually trees are immovable objects. Well, this tree is a mod, and it's not a modification to the map. This is just like a regular prop you would select from the vehicle selector and you spawn it up, and it's a tree, and it looks identical to the ones that are already on the map. In fact, I think what they did is they took the ones that were already on the map and they made those ones fall over, and you really can't tell the difference between them unless you look really closely at the leaves. You see the leaves on this one are all like wavy and stuff, and then the ones over here, they're a bit more static. They still move around a little bit, but not nearly as fluidly. So that's how you can tell which trees you can crash into and which ones you can't. Now, let's do it again, but a little bit slower, because now you know what's going to happen. And sometimes the tree doesn't fall over. Yes, it does. It does fall over. So my truck got a little stuck inside the tree, and it took me for a ride. Not exactly the outcome I expected, but it's acceptable, I guess. You can pretty easily drive through that tree, but there's some other options available that are a little bit harder to drive through. So there are 4 trees in total, and the names are a little confusing because this one's called East Coast Small Douglas Fir, and then there's IYB Small Douglas Fir, and I'm like, what the heck is IYB? I've never heard of that map before, and I'm all trying to figure it out, looking at all the maps in the game, like none of these sound like they would be abbreviated like that, and it's like, oh, that's the name of the author. So there's 2 small Douglas firs basically, and then there's 2 large Douglas firs. And when you pick a large one, they do get pretty large. You see how much thicker it is at the base? And when you have a tree that's thicker, it's a lot stronger too. You can push it down, but not with measly speed from a measly truck like that. We need a big truck with big speed. So just for demonstration, T-Series with the Patriot Special, come on out. You can, what are you doing? No! Don't do that. I think even from back here, though, might not be enough to pull this tree down. We're going to find out. We're going to be going about 25 to 30 miles per hour, and it's just not enough. And in fact, it broke the engine. That's just a really unfortunate crash, I think. So we're going to back it up a little bit more, and hopefully that will be enough to take this tree down. We got such a big, heavy vehicle. We don't need to be going that fast. Although if we had a normal vehicle, we need to go pretty fast. So here we go. We're probably only going to be going about 35 miles per hour, a little bit more than before because it's so bumpy, but it is enough. Get that tree out of here. And then we can take a look at the damage to the truck. And for the T-Series usually being a big, hefty thing, it actually got a pretty hefty dent into it. So now, let's go a little bit stupid with things. We're going to bring this guy over to the road, and we are going to try to crush the tree down using a regular vehicle and seeing just how fast do we need to go. And when you teleport the tree, you want to be right above the ground. You're like right on the edge of it, almost inside of it. And that'll get you at the right height to crash into it. So we're going to crash into it using a regular vehicle. And by regular vehicle, I mean a big fat pickup truck. In America, this is a regular vehicle. This is the D35 Beast. And he's going to be going pretty fast through here. He's going about 60 miles per hour, and that is not enough. The Beast at 60 miles per hour is not enough to take out the tree. So what do? We move the goalposts, kind of literally. We're going to take the tree, and we're going to move it farther away, so that way we'll hit it at a higher speed. All the way at the end of this road should be far enough for us to break it down using just the D35 Beast, and maybe we'll try some other vehicles as well. And we'll even try multiple strategies. This is the big heavy car smush tree strategy, and then we'll try the opposite. We'll get a real lightweight vehicle, but it's super fast, like a hill climber or a drag car, and we'll see, can they crush tree? And it turns out that corner is so tight, I really don't maintain much speed through there, so I could just go back to the start of this corner for the next run probably. So let's find out. We're not going that much faster than last time, only about 75 miles per hour at most, but it is enough. It's also enough to break my engine and both of my drive shafts. So this truck completely ruined, but it made its way through the tree. So it is a success. We did not need that much more speed than last time. So now it's time for the next strategy. And the next strategy is very, very simple. I can describe it in one word: speed. So we're going to be getting the hill climb version of the SBR4 because I think that one should be pretty good at getting off the line fast and hitting the tree hard. And it's also a relatively lightweight vehicle. Like, I could have also got a drag car, which is also very fast off the line, but those are all big V8s and they're really heavy. But this is a nice lightweight hill climb vehicle that can crush the tree down. At least I hope it can. Yes. Yes, it can. It's kind of violent, and the front drive shaft breaks, but it can crush through the tree. And oh no, that tree it cannot crush through. That's a full-size tree, a big boy tree. And there's another big boy tree. Who put all these big boy trees here, ruining my car? Oh, what happened to the tree I crashed into? It looks, very, very flat. That's weird. Is it just kind of inside the ground a little bit? Yeah, I guess so. No, I don't know. Like, it looks too flat. Like, some of the dimensions got lost. I don't know what happened to it. That is really unusual. Also, there's a piece of my car over here. What is that? That is my wing. Hello, wing. Get back to the car and reattach yourself, please. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that. How is it flying? Well, that's a dumb question. It's a wing. Wings are made to fly, WhyBeAre. You don't need to ask such a foolish question. Reset the tree, and then new question. How close can we be with the drag car and still knock it down? We're going to use the Burnside Special here because I think that's probably the most durable of the drag cars. Now, I didn't actually look at the stats, but I'm assuming it would be the heaviest one, and then it would have the most likelihood to plow through the tree at the lowest speed. So I'm going to get as close as I think I can and still knock the tree over. So that should be pretty close. And now we're going to see, can we knock it over? Yes, we can, in a little spinning maneuver there and onto our side. But if you look at the tree, you'll see it still looks like a tree. It doesn't look flat like it did the other time. I don't really know why it did that. That was just really, really strange. Anyways, there's a look at the damage to the vehicle. And now we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to get as far away as we can where we still won't have enough speed to knock the tree down. So this should be a pretty good attempt. Here we go. The speedometer reads like 75, but that is not enough to destroy the tree. I swear the vehicles get more damaged if you don't knock the tree down than if you do, it seems like. It seems like when the tree breaks, it makes it easier to drive through it. All right, here's the next idea. We're going to take tree, and we're going to go timber right onto a car. What car? Well, not this one because it has a roll cage. We need something that's a little easier to smoosh. So something like the custom version of the Legrand is very easy to smoosh the roof. And we got to go all the way up here because the nodes on this thing are a little weird. So it has no nodes on most of the tree except there are a couple at the top, which is all you need to try to knock it onto a car, hopefully. The only question is, does it go in the right direction or is it going to miss? We're going to find out, and you do need a lot of strength for this tree. Come on, node grabber. Come on, node grabber. Okay, so apparently with this tree, it is so strong you cannot pull it over with just the node grabber alone. At least not with just one node. There are multiple nodes up here, so you gotta... Oh, wait. Yeah! Timber? Like, yes, that's a question. It's bending. It's not timber, it's bending. This is not how timber is supposed to work. Oh, this is just unusual. Okay, well, the car's going to be crushed. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be crushed eventually. I've made a crusher accidentally. That's what I've done here. And crush. Okay, well, it's just going... Oh, it is crushing it a little bit. Okay. It's also going through the car at the same time. That was a very interesting experience. And again, I've made the tree flat. It's kind of cool when it flattens down, but it's also completely stupid. Like, it's kind of cool because, like, oh, look at that. You hit the tree so hard it got flat, but it doesn't really relate to that at all. It just sometimes happens. So let's try this again, but let's make it a little less weird. First off, I'm going to put the car like this so I have a bigger target, and it might look a little cooler when you crush it like this. In fact, what we could do is have two cars. I'm going to have another car right next to him, and I don't even have to align it. It'll just be automatically lined up. Then for the tree, we got to tone the tree down. This tree is too strong. Thankfully, we have some smaller options. So we're going to go with either of these smaller tree options. And now it's time for the timber. So all we're going to do is just like before, we grab the top of the tree and pull it. And this one, it just falls. It's going to fall right onto the Legrand, right onto the ETK. And in the end, how much damage did it do? Well, let's get it out of the way and find out. So it actually did a decent number on the ETK, but the Legrand, mostly unharmed. It has a broken windshield, and that's all I see going on there. But ETK, it got smushed. I think with two cars there, it definitely reduced the impact. So I'm going to just go ahead and remove the Legrand, so it's just a single car we're crushing, and then I'll get a fresh ETK for a fresh crushioning. And I bet to get the best crush, you want it to be as far away from the tree as it possibly can, with the tree still making contact. So this should be pretty close to that. So here comes the tree, and boom! Right onto the roof, and that is a good bit more damage than the first run, it looks like. It also hit it in a slightly different spot because it's hard to make a tree timber exactly where you want it to go. But there's a look at the damage. And then we are going to go ahead and change up maps real quickly. So we are going to move on over to the industrial site. And we need another big, strong truck here. So we're going to go with the T75 Destroyer. Because out of nowhere, there's a big, fat line of trees over here. And I want to destroy them. Very simple. Just go up the line of trees as fast as we can from there and see what happens. So we are plowing through them decently well, but we have lost momentum. Thankfully, Destroyer doesn't care. It just keeps pushing and shoving and going and going and going. There's so many trees, I can't even see what's happening. We're still moving somehow, though, so go, Destroyer, go. Oh, my goodness. What a disaster. It almost made it all the way through the stack of trees I put down. You really can't see what the heck was going on, though, because this is just such a mess. I can't even back out of here because it's just piled on the trees. What if we try to node grab her out? Can we do that? Not easily. I just tore off a pretty hefty part of this truck. I can't really see much of the other parts to grab, though. Yeah, this truck has the trees. Look, the trees come with the truck. What a disaster that was. That was awesome. So now we're going to try the exact same thing, but instead of having a big fat T-Series and big fat trees, I'm going to hit the magic button that makes the trees and the cars smaller. And there we go. The trees are smaller, and so is my vehicle. So I just have a regular old ambulance here, which should be able to get through some of the trees, but will it get through all of the trees? Let's find out. Well, that first crash actually completely ruined it because it said rear drive shaft broken basically immediately, but the trees are dominoes. The trees are dominoes. Go, go, go. Oh, it missed it. It was doing great because the car only got like halfway through and then they just kept falling. I was perfectly centered and there's no way I could do that again. We'll try a different vehicle here just for curiosity, since it seems like when we crash into it, the front really gets mangled. We need something with the engine in the back. So we're going to go with the SBR4, and I'm going to go with the hill climb version because we have the roll cage, which gives us some extra structural strength, I think, which might be helpful trying to protect the engine as we go through the trees. So we don't need to go that fast. This should be fast enough. Oh, see, the difference here is this thing is so light. When you crash into the trees kind of take you for a ride. You can't just plow through them like I was with the other vehicle. So, not going to work out, but I do want to plow through the whole thing of trees, and I really, really got to do it. So, fast vehicle, come on out. And this guy should have no problem going through all the trees. I don't have the ram plow or anything, but I don't think it's necessary for these smaller trees. But what might be necessary is just doing a little loop around here to make sure we actually get up to speed, because this thing doesn't have the greatest of acceleration statistics. We'll be going about maybe 30 to 40 miles per hour when we hit the trees. So that should be fast enough, actually just over 40 miles per hour. And there it goes. It's taking them out nicely. Come on, almost all the way. Get that last tree down. Yes, that is a success. We have gone through every single tree, and I think we're kind of like stuck inside of them as well. Which gives me an unusual idea. What happens when you try to drive over trees that you've previously knocked down? Does it work as you would expect? Do you get stuck in it in glitchy ways? Well, it depends. It depends on what you're driving and how lucky you get. So, going with the T-Series right here, it went surprisingly well. It's kind of like just trying to drive over trees in real life. You might get somewhere, but you will probably get stuck unless maybe if you have something really big and beefy and good for off-roading. So starting levels. First off, we'll start with the off-road version of the Sunburst, which has some ground clearance and all-wheel drive. It might be able to clear these trees, and if it can't, we'll go up to something like the Hopper. So here we go, going at the trees. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take it easy. So just nice and easy, nice and easy. Oh, that's not too bad at all. That's actually surprisingly good. The way it drives over the trees feels a lot better than I expected, because we're driving at it at a weird angle. If you're going like over the edge here, that's not okay. Well, there it's a little bit worse because it did get stuck in my tire a little bit. You see, like my tire is dragging along the tree it's stuck inside of, but it was doing okay until that happened. So let's try to smash through the trees again, but we're going to completely change the strategy. Instead of driving into them, we're going to shoot at it with a cannonball. So we're going to get out the old cannon, and we are going to just use this to hopefully knock some trees down. Now, I don't think this is going to go too well, because the cannonball probably won't be able to get multiple trees in a row because it'll deflect off to the side, but it might be able to get a couple before it deflects too far. So let's find out. Cannonball is lined up, and fire! So it got, looks like just the first 2 trees, and then it did deflect off just as I expected, I think. That's better than I expected, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and do that again, because that was fun. Bring it a little closer, and then this time we're going to get some slow-mo on this so you can see what actually happens to the cannonball. So we got 16 times slow-mo, fire, boom. So it just hits the tree, and the tree is so strong it bounces off. How did cannonballs work on destroying ships when trees are that strong? It makes no sense. That tree is just dancing now. It's spinning out of control. So that's going to do it for the cannon. Next up, we're going to go with the other cannon. So that's just the one that shoots cannonballs, but what if instead of shooting cannonballs, we shoot cars at it instead? And now, what will we shoot out of the cannon? How about we go with a heavier vehicle like the Roamer? That should be great. In fact, what we could do is we could do a couple of Roamers inside of the cannon all at once. That would work great. Yep, that's not great. The vehicle spawns inside the cannon. I forgot it does that, actually. Just a little maneuvering. Gotta back it in. Nice and easy. Excellent. And then I'll stick another Roamer right in front of this one. It'll be just a clone. We don't need a different version. This one is fine. Again, it's kind of stuck inside the cannon. Quick and easy. Just teleport. Line it up with the ramp. And back it on in. It's going to be a tight maneuver. Can we make it? Ah, the tree is just blocking me a little bit. Adjust. Realign. Angle. Geometry. Go! Ha-ha. I am the best at geometry. And everything is ready to go. All I gotta do is find the cannon and we can shoot. Cannon found. Let's get a nice camera angle going so we can really appreciate what happens here. Looks pretty good. And then 8 times slow-mo is active and we are firing. The ball should be coming out of the cannon any moment. So it's kind of a ball. The back one's a ball. The front one's still a vehicle. Oh, it's kind of working, but not great. Well, that cannonball doesn't shoot very straight, does it? Like, one of the vehicles just completely missed all the trees, and the other one just hit the first few before it started to deflect off to the side, and then it just misses those ones as well. Either way, it was interesting. It was a very stupid idea, and it worked just as well as you would probably expect, I would say, which is not very well at all. Anyways, the next thing I want to do is going to require us to go back to East Coast USA real quickly. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll take a look at all the different trees that are available. And here I just want to show you the different trees that are available because I've just kind of been picking them at random and you don't really get a good overview of what's available. So we got 2 big ones, 2 small ones, 2 dark ones, 2 bright ones. So the small ones, they have the exact same weight on them, and the 2 big ones also have the exact same weight on them. So they have identical properties when you crash into them, it seems like. They just have different looks. So you choose the tree that best fits the environment. Although on other maps, none of them really look quite right, but on this map, all of them will look fine wherever you put them, so you can pick whichever tree you want and place it wherever you want. And now, just for fun, let's try to do a domino. We're going to hit this tree and it's going to knock over the rest of them. But to hit that tree, we need to have some weight and some speed. So we're going to get some distance between us so I can get enough speed. And then also probably swap this truck out for something heavier so we can get the weight. I don't want to go too crazy with things. They're just like a heavy truck should be good. And the distance here should be good. So we'll go ahead and come to a stop or just let it fly into the trees. I don't really care what it does because I'm pulling up the vehicle selector. And I'm going to grab me an H series. How about the H15 Vanster Off-Road? There it is. That one should be great for this. It's nice, big, and heavy. It's got that off-road capabilities because we spawn on the dirt. And then we won't use them ever again because we're not in the dirt anymore. Although it felt like something was weird with the suspension. I don't know if it was just the way it spawned, but like It wasn't churning. Yeah, it's not churning quite right at all here. It's enough where I can control it, but it ain't right, man. Something ain't right. Here we go, though, into the trees. Looks like we're going head on, so this should cause some dominoes. And you notice here how one tree does look thicker than the other. As far as I can tell, it doesn't make a difference between them. So, oh, there we go. This is not dominoes. This is just truck plowed through trees. Wow, it did a really, really good job. I am so proud of my van. He is a champion. What is that noise? I don't know what that is. That is strange sounding. Let's see if just moving stuff around fixes it. I'll be quiet so you can hear what's happening as I move it. Huh. So it's something like when the tree is on top of the vehicle, it makes a lot of noise, but if you pull the vehicle up into the air, it's not on top of it the same, so it doesn't make the noise. I actually have no idea what's going on here. What an interesting way to end a video where I'm just completely clueless. Anyways, till next time, this is WhyBeAre, and remember, if you like or dislike this video, I'll know. I can tell by how many trees I can knock down before they make really weird noises. Like, maybe it was trying to talk to me? That's what it is. We gotta decrypt the secret message. Anyways, I'll see you next time.